Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about CBL and Associates Properties, going with the ticker CBL. First of all, I'm going to be going through a technical analysis point of view from a 1 month, 1 day interval, and then I'm going to be moving through 1 hour, going to go look for any kind of patterns or trend lines, and then finding the supports and resistances, including the Fibonacci retracements, and then going on and diving into the company's profile, including as well financials, a little bit of financial analysis there, nothing very deep at all. So, 1 month, 1 day, you get to see that MACD is looking for a reversal here after it's been negative for quite a bit ever since the 23rd of June, the next following day. You can see the volume has actually gained a really good amount of attraction. I would say around 5 times, give or take, the relative volume. The William percent R shows that the stock is at a neutral, better neutral than an overbought situation here. The average directional index shows that there's a strong indication that their trend is going on, and so that trend has been positive for 2 days straight, and it shows in that there's an increase in that kind of trend going on. In terms of momentum, the stock is sitting somewhere very close to a zero kind of level of momentum, which is not a bad place to be, but it's still a little bit more dangerous in my point of view. The 10 SMA is under the 30 EMA, and the stock is significantly under the 200 SMA, but it actually is currently above the 50 SMA. So the good news here is that it actually got above the 50 SMA, which makes it a bullish run. Yet it is, in terms of other averages, it doesn't look that good. 5 days, 1 hour point of view here, you get to see in terms of the MACD that it has jumped very quickly here, and then it kind of just continued to decrease. And now what we're having is the MACD and the signal line are touching. So that's a little bit off a bearish sign right there. But what you can have is a reversal again in the morning, and you can have something where the negative is very minimal, as you've seen previously in the stock. The stock is significantly under the VWAP, although that kind of was caused by that major spike. In the 1 hour perspective, the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, so it looks good, and the stock price is above the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA. And one thing to look at here, in terms of the 1 hour interval, we have a golden cross. So that's that is bullish point here in the after hours. Although what we're getting here quickly to look at is that the stock is within the trading action zone. But that's where reversals are really likely. So we need to look at this very at a very good attention. You get to see the average directional index is increasing quite highly, and you want to make sure it stays a little bit below 40, at least for the evening. William percent R is sitting right now at an oversold situation, which is good news for you. Now let's take a quick look into the moving averages quickly. So through the moving averages, we get to see that the 10 SMA here, that the moving averages here is matching a bit the stock, and it seems that it's still within the bottom side of the stock. Now what we can have is something where it continues in that moving average band in the CN here, and then either jumps to the upper band or kind of stays within there. That's a little bit something to be predetermined by the next morning. Taking a quick look here into the 1 hour interval, and you get to see that this is not the first time CBL has jumped that quite a bit. Well, this is a very minor jump to what you've actually seen before. This kind of jump looks very much like a pump and dump for me. It has kind of that kind of behaviors in terms of that, and could be, by the way, pumped just by positive news. So what this currently looks like to me is just a little bit of confidence in terms of the stock in the future. So if you've been bag holding for quite a bit and haven't sold yet, you might actually be into something well here, especially since it did kind of trade a little bit higher before, and this kind of had a cup here of some sort. This stock has seemed to be accumulating for quite a little, and that's why it had a little bit of a major spike. When a stock accumulates, it sometimes really just jumps in once news hits. Fibonacci retracements here quickly. We get to look into the stock. You get to see that it has met 0.35 as a resistance. Current support is sitting at 245 for Fibonacci retracements, and the current support traditional is sitting at 0.26. The next resistance traditional is sitting in around 0.29, although there's a pivot point around 0.28, and then the next resistance at 0.3. No significant trend lines that I can see here in terms of the day, in terms of the 1 hour perspective. Now trying to move on to quickly seeing around news. We get to see not a lot is going on in terms of this. This is the company's website. In terms of the company itself. So what do? They have real estates in terms of malls and whatnot and different business operations. Quickly looking into their financials, you get to see that their 2020 March 31st end, they had a net loss of 0.75, which is 158% decrease off their last year, although this is COVID time. So when you have something like malls and stuff, it was a lot of it around the states and has actually been closed down. This is their locations here, and you get to see some of their locations, although are outside the Florida and California region. You have 1, 4 around here. There is a few as well, so around I believe 5 in Texas. So it had I would say majority of their kind of real estate is outside. Well, half of them or majority of them are outside the affected areas. So they might actually be open. Well, some of them are actually starting to open back again. So you might have a bit of business run over there. Not a lot to see here in terms of their website. Now going on to why it actually jumped. Well, this was actually one of the news. The WFRBS Commercial Mortgage Trust has been downgraded for 6 classes of WFRBS. And what is this? What is the kind of news that you're actually supposed to be expecting here? Well, you had a 4. So this one here, you had a forbearance in terms of their mortgage. What does that mean? What does that mean? They're actually paying less interest onto their mortgage for a very short period of time. So that's a little bit good news. They get to save a bit more cash. Thus leads to less chance of an upcoming offering. So that's good news. It leads to less loss for the next quarter. So we're talking here about quarter 3, not quarter 2. So that's a bit of good news, and that's why it actually jumped a little bit today. Although is the jump significant is the news significant to get this to keep going? I really doubt that. So this company would still need to try to push for something else as well. In terms of insider and ownerships here, institutional ownerships, let's take a quick look here. Before heading to there, we need to as well look a little bit into the current retail informations and stuff and kind of retail business. So it's a little bit shaky, so that might be a little bit dangerous in here. BlackRock here jumped on this stock a little bit around a week ago. Square Miller Financials dumped this stock today, but I'm not sure how many shares they had previously. It's a little bit hard to get. Sound Income Strategies bought something like 6,473 shares, which is very not significant to me here at this point. There has been a little bit of different trades, put some calls as well for this stock. This company here seems to have put a call and then a put afterward. So a little bit interesting to see in this situation. It seems that even institutions are a little bit iffy about it, but some of them are actually on board. Now here coming into institutional sales, you get to see that a bunch of them sold around 2 months ago. So it's not a big significance to me at all. So BlackRock here, one of the latest people that actually bought into it. Let's take a quick look in terms of their kind of finance, in terms of their profile. Now that's not actually loading up. All right, there you go. Wow. So this is sitting in around quite a bit, $2 trillion. Am I reading that right? Yeah, 100,000, a million, billion, trillion. I haven't seen that in a while. So $2 trillion profile. But it's safe to say that they actually know what they're doing. And it sounds like institutional is after this one as well again. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about this stock in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day. And if you're looking for my opinion on this stock, I wouldn't touch it until it accumulates again. That's just my opinion, and I'll mention it in Twitter when I jump back in on this stock. Thank you very much. Have a good day.